Okay, so today what I wanted to do, oh, and by the way, my sweet husband bought me a bigger board. So, yay! I don't have to use the tiny little foot long one that I was trying to squeeze everything onto before. Um, Especially with my kind of big handwriting. I'm always worried that if I don't write really big, then people are going to be trying to read it on their phones or whatever. Like, what did she write? Is that English? So we're gonna do two things today. One, we're gonna do some tidbits. These are just words that you're gonna see a lot. They come in handy. They're conjunctions and ways to negate things like he is not making, um, and stuff like that. Um, just helpful to know. They're easy to learn. They don't make an impact on nouns. You're not going to have a direct object for any of these. You just have to recognize them. And then we are going to learn some prepositions, and you will officially learn to use the ablative case a little bit, because prepositions require in Latin either the ablative or the accusative. So that's what we're going to do today. My next video, I want to do two things. I want to do adjectives in the third declension, and I want to do some translation work because it's time to start really working on putting all this stuff together, picking it apart, especially when you get into prepositional phrases and your sentences get more complex. That's a really good time to pause and start working through some more difficult sentences and applying what you already know or hopefully know. And if you don't know it, it's time to figure out that you don't know it so you can go back and fix whatever's going wrong. I wanted to attach some stuff to my last video. I haven't figured out how to do that. I have not figured out how to attach any documents to my YouTube videos. So until further notice, I just have to say I'm working on it. Yeah, if any of you actually knows how to do that, you could leave it in the comment section and yay. I'm not I'm not very techie. Okay. But anyway, someday when I figure it out, I do want to post some stuff that you can print out and you can use. It can be review. You can perforate it and put it on a roll if you want, whatever. It's there to help you. So these are the tidbits. They are just little words that matter. It's not that they don't matter, but they're not complex. They're not hard to use. You just have to know what they are and know when to use them. And even knowing when to use them, it's pretty easy. It's vocabulary. So if you need that vocabulary word, then use it. Okay. So the first one that we're going to do is et. In Latin, that means and. Okay. So if you want to say the girl and the farmer are walking, et is your friend. Okay. The next one is actually a construction where you want to do both and. So et is both ... and ... So an example of that would be both the girls and the boys have a soccer game on Tuesday. Okay, in a sentence like that, you would use et the girls ... et ... Okay, so if I wanted to do it in Latin, let's put a Latin sentence up. It's going to be a bad sentence because this is off the top of my head. But let's say I want to do oh, I don't know. There. Okay, I told you it was going to be a bad sentence. Can you read that? Yeah. Okay. Both the girl, Puella, and the boy, sail. Okay, now notice my verb is plural. It's a they because the girl and the boy are the subject. Okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind when you use both and, even though you have perhaps two singular things, it's still two things, okay? So you still have a plural subject, okay? So that's your both and construction, okay? I'm going to erase this because I need room for said. Said is next on our hit parade here. Said means but. Okay? So, the girl was happy, but it didn't last long. Okay? Or I was worried that I wasn't going to get on time. I wasn't going to get to work on time, but the traffic was lighter than I thought. Okay, so said, but. Okay? Non, you might guess, if you've taken other languages or if you just have this internal sense of English, not. Okay, so if you want to say he is not making pizza, you would use non. Okay? She is not tall, you would use non. Okay? And then atque is and as well. Okay? I'd have to check and make sure, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, it can also mean and also. I have to double check on that. Do not quote me on that until I check my grammar and make sure that I'm correct about that. But it does mean and. Okay, so atque also means and. So those are the tidbits. Okay? Nothing fancy, nothing too terribly mind-blowing, but you do need to know them because, well, think about it. And you're going to use and a lot. You're going to negate sentences, she is not tall, he is not a cow, things like that. So you need to know them. Okay, I'm going to, I noticed on my, okay, there. Now you can see the bottom word atque. Okay, I'm going to count to 15. Write them down if you haven't done it yet. So. Okay, here we go. We're moving on. Prepositions coming at you. Oh, this eraser. Love the board. Not enjoying the eraser. Okay. It's one of those, I don't even know how this thing is magnetic, but it is. It's like somebody took those magic erasers that, the cleaning product, and they stuck felt on the bottom of it, and somehow it's magnetic. I don't know how that works. Okay, that's why this isn't science class, because I don't understand how something like this can be magnetic. But anyway, all right, prepositions. So first of all, we're going to have to cover our English understanding of prepositions, and then we'll move into Latin. And we're only going to learn a handful. We're not going to learn every stinking preposition out there. A, because I don't want to do that, and B, because you don't need to know them all right off the top of the page. Okay, you need to know some, and as you encounter others, you will learn others. So, prepositions. Okay, when we talk about prepositions in English, okay, we are using words that show usually a spatial relationship between two things or two people. So what I want you to do when you think of prepositions is think a monkey and a desk. Okay? Think monkey and a desk. Now, think of all the places that the monkey can be in relation to the desk. Okay? I know this might be kind of patronizing in a way, but we have to start simple so that we can understand what we're working with. So, if I wanted to describe where the monkey is in relation to the desk, I could say the monkey is, and I'm going to make a list down here, under the desk. Under is my preposition, okay? I could say the monkey is near the desk. Okay? Near is my preposition. Okay? The monkey is on the desk. On is my preposition. Okay? And since I'm coming down to the bottom of my screen, I'm going to erase these. We're going to do a few more. Okay? The monkey is in the desk. In is your preposition, okay? It shows where the monkey is in relation to the desk. Okay, and you can do this exercise forever. Okay, we don't think about prepositions too much after probably like second grade, because well, by then you pretty much know how to use prepositions in English, but a lot of people don't really understand grammatically what they're dealing with. They certainly don't understand prepositional phrases and the object of a preposition. A lot of people don't know what that stuff is. They might know what a preposition is, but they've never considered the grammar because, like I've said before, it's not taught adequately in a lot of situations. So I did not have a good understanding of English grammar until I took Latin. I even remember my roommate in college asking me, this was before I took Latin, asking me what the direct object in a sentence was. She gave me a sentence, Bob makes pizza for his friends. And I couldn't tell her which one was pizza or was friends, the direct object. I didn't know. I really didn't know. So grammar is just, I don't know. Maybe we don't listen to our English teachers, or maybe our English teachers don't teach us, but I did not have a good understanding of grammar. I could write well, I could write sentences really well. I could use words correctly all day long, good vocabulary and everything else. But if you asked me to break a sentence down, couldn't do it until I took Latin. And after about a year and a half of Latin, yeah, I can diagram those sentences now. So prepositions, back to the point, they show a relationship between two things. Okay, it's usually spatial, but sometimes it can relate to time, like yesterday came before today. Okay, so sometimes it relates to time in a sense, but it's usually a spatial relationship. Okay, so knowing that, okay, there's the English side of it. We're going to talk about a prepositional phrase, both in English and in Latin. We're going to start with the English side and we're going to work our way into the Latin, because the Latin is a little more involved than the English is, because, well, we don't have inflection very much in English. We have some, but not much. Okay, so Sue is in bed. Okay, now your prepositional phrase is going to be your preposition plus the stuff that the preposition, as we say, governs. Okay, so your prepositional phrase is in, and the word, it's a simple, small sentence, but the word that this preposition controls or governs is right here. This whole thing is a prepositional phrase. Okay? Notice I didn't say sentence, it's a phrase. It's just part of a sentence. Okay? Now, in your prepositional phrase, you have what we call the object of the preposition. Okay? This is the object of the preposition. Okay? This is being controlled by the preposition in. So bed is controlled by the preposition in our sentence, grammatically speaking. Okay? And we can answer the question, Sue is in what? She's in bed. Okay? And that'll answer, what's the object of the preposition? Well, what is Sue in? She's in bed. Okay? The monkey is on what? The monkey is on the desk. Okay? So, object of the preposition plus its object and whatever it controls is your prepositional phrase. So this whole thing here is a prepositional. Ooh, that was bad handwriting. Phrase. Okay, that whole thing in the box is your prepositional phrase. This guy right here, bed, is the object of your preposition. Let's do another one in English, and then we're going to talk about prepositions when we're dealing with Latin. Yeah, don't like this eraser. It's really, really crummy and magnetic. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's go back to our monkey. The monkey is near the, can you see all the way over here? Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I'm still in the camera shot with my writing, because otherwise I need to scooch that way. Okay, so first of all, we need to figure out what our preposition is in this sentence. What is the preposition? Near. This is our preposition. Okay, that's the preposition. Now the prepositional phrase is everything connected to our preposition. So we have 3 words that are controlled by our preposition here. Okay, the is just an article, but the word that is governed by the preposition is desk. This is the object of the preposition. I'm not going to write out preposition. It's just too much work. I'm tired. I just got done homeschooling, so. All right. So near what? Near the desk. This is your prepositional phrase. Okay. This guy down here is the object of your preposition. It's really important to understand that, because even though the English words don't change, even if they are the object of a preposition, I could take desk just the way it is. I could make it a subject. I could make it a direct object. I could make it, you name it. I could do anything with that word, and it probably isn't going to change much. If I make it plural, I'd add an S. If I made it, possessive, I'd have an apostrophe S, but it doesn't change based on where it is or what it is in the sentence in English. I can say the desk is small. I could say I like the desk. I'm under the desk. Desk, the word, does not change in any of those sentences, but it's a different part of the sentence every single time in those examples I gave you. That's about to change in Latin, okay? Because Latin is inflected. That means that the words change in order to show what they are doing. Okay, so verbs change dramatically, okay? Nouns have cases to show what they're doing. Remember, nominative is your subject. Okay, we talked about the accusative being used for direct objects, and now we're getting into prepositions. Okay, and the object of a preposition in Latin is going to be either accusative or ablative. There are a couple exceptions, but we're not going to talk about those. You can worry about those in your 3rd and 4th year of Latin. I am not going to get into it here because I'm sure I have people who are hanging on by their fingernails trying to get through their 1st year of Latin, and I ain't going to muddy the waters, or at least I'm going to try not to. Okay. The other thing I need to work on is kind of making my tripod a little more secure because it feels like it's going to wobble right out of existence. Okay. Now, in Latin, I'm going to give you 2 lists, and they are going to be a list of prepositions that require an accusative object and a list that requires an ablative object. We're going to do the accusative first because accusative in our list of cases comes before our ablative, which is the last case we do. So, accusative. Okay, let's do it. In, when it means into. Okay, in is going to be in both categories, but it depends on what it means. If it means into, we're doing accusative, okay? Or if we're doing against. You don't see that super often, but you do have speeches by, say, Cicero, where he says in Catilinam, okay? It's not into Catiline, it's against Catiline, okay? So you can also see it used as against. You don't really need to worry too much about this one. I'm going to put this one in parentheses, okay? It's not going to be the most common use, but it is out there. But into, this guy, yeah, into, okay? Let's do odd, A-D. This means toward, okay? So if I walk toward the house, okay, toward, that is going to require an accusative object of the preposition, okay? And we're going to do some Latin examples. Don't freak out on me yet, okay? Let's do per, which means through. Okay, so if I walk through the streets, okay, walk through the streets of Laredo. I don't know why that always comes to mind when I think of walking through streets. Dumbest thing ever. Anyway, welcome to my world. Per meaning through, okay? Whatever you're going through is going to be gone through in the accusative, okay? So through the fields, through the house, through the streets of Laredo. Sorry. Through in the accusative category. Okay. I'm trying to think of really common ones. Let's do contra. Against. And this is not against like up here where you're doing a speech that blasts somebody. This is against like the wind is blowing against my back. Okay. They're sailing against the tide. the army is standing against them. Things like that. Okay. So there you have it. That's all I'm going to do for now. There are others, and as we come up with them, I will introduce you and we will use them. But for now, that is our accusative list that we're going to stop with for now. Because really, how many are we actually going to have time to use in examples? I'm not going to go crazy. All right, ablative. These guys are going to take an ablative object. Okay, don't call it a direct object. This is an object of a preposition. It is not the same thing as a direct object. Okay, a direct object receives action. There is no action, okay, being received here. These are not the object of an action. All right, so do not get them confused. They are objects of a preposition. The preposition is controlling this word, is what we're dealing with. It's not action, okay? I can't stand up and toward somebody. I can run toward them, okay? I can jump toward them, but I can't stand up and toward. That's not possible, okay? I can't stand up and into. Into, what are you talking about? Into the field. Well, you do what into the field? So, okay, we're not talking about direct objects. We're talking about objects of prepositions. All right, here we go. Ablative. And there are, I think, more ablative ones than accusative ones, but I could be wrong. It could be like a 50-50 split. It's close. I'm going to do in again. This is when it means in or on. Okay? So, I am in my seat, as opposed to I am getting into the water. Okay? There's a difference between getting into the water and being in the water. Okay? Understand? So this is in or on. All right? Place where is a use of the ablative. And yeah, this is place where or object of a preposition. Okay? All right, here we go. X. Out of. Okay, so he jumps out of the boat. Okay? X. Out of. As opposed to ob. Away from. These are not the same. These are not interchangeable. X and ob are not interchangeable. Okay? They mean something different, as you can see from the definitions. Okay? So if I say I sail away from the island, it's not the same thing as sailing out of the island. In fact, I can't sail out of an island. That doesn't even make any sense. Okay? So away from is not the same thing as out of. I'm walking away from the box. I come out of the box. I don't know what I'd be doing in a box, but you get the point. Okay? So away from. Let me think. I'm going to do sub, and that'll be the last one. Sub means under. Okay? So under the tree, under the desk. Think of our monkey again. Okay? Under. So these are the guys that we're going to try to use in a few examples. I'm not going to do all of them, but I will do a fair number of them just to get you used to how we're going to do this. Let's start, well, write it down if you're going to. 15 seconds, okay? Okay, here we go. Let's start with the accusative. I'm going to leave the accusative list up for the moment, and I'm going to write our sentences where the ablative list was. Okay, Here we go. Let's use a sentence with odd. Odd is extremely popular in first year Latin. Everybody loves to use the preposition odd, toward. Okay, so let's do I know some of this vocabulary you might not know, but we're going to work through it together. So I will help you. Okay? All right. Sailor in Latin. I'm going to give you your vocabulary over here. Oh, that's horrible handwriting. I can't stand it when my handwriting is bad and this board is wobbly. It's so big. It's a blessing and a curse all at the same time. Nauta. Nautai is sailor. Okay? We get words like astronaut. An astronaut is literally a star sailor. Okay? So, nauta, nautai, sailor. Now, the sailor is what in our sentence? I hope you said subject. Okay? And subjects go into what case in Latin? Nominative. Okay, if you're still struggling with that, please go back and figure out where you're having problems. Please don't continue to bury yourself. All right, nauta. So we don't have a word for the, so we just do nauta. We're going to leave the verb for the end, okay? We're going to put our verb at the end because we're just going to follow first year Latin protocol, okay? So, toward the island. So, our preposition for toward is what? Odd. Okay, let's write that down. Island. I'm going to write it over here, holding onto my board. Insula. Insulae. Island. Okay? You might see that and be thinking of insulation. Okay? Insulate, that's where we get it. Okay? An island is pretty insulated. Okay? It's surrounded by ocean. All right? Not a lot of stuff is going to be going in or coming out. All right? So think of it that way. Insula, insulae. Now, this is what declension? Insula, insulae. I don't know if I'm helping anything today. I kind of feel like my setup here is just kind of off kilter. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see if that helps. Just put the board a little farther back. Okay. So insula, insulae, what declension is that? Do you know? It ends in an A. It's first, okay? And it is feminine, okay? Just so you know. It is not a masculine exception. It is feminine. Why islands are feminine in Latin? I don't know. All right. So we need to turn this guy into an accusative because odd needs an accusative object of the preposition, okay? So we have to go through our declension. So in the singulars, first of all, how many islands do we have in this sentence? Is it one or is it more than one? It's one. So we're just going to do the singular declension of this. If you need a refresher on first declension, watch my video or read your book or whatever you need to do. Okay, so nominative insula, genitive insulae, dative insulae, accusative insulam. Llama. Okay, so insulam. And now we can do sails. Okay, your verb for to sail is navigo, navigare. I am not sure if we've done that or not. I'll put it up on the board. I'll put it down here, but I'll put it somewhere where you can see it. So, navigare. All right, and this means to sail. We get words like navigate. Okay? Navigate, navigation, all of that stuff. All right? So, to sail. All right. Well, what conjugation is that? First, second, third, fourth? What is it? First. Okay? We know because we have an ARE infinitive. Okay? We have an O in the first person singular. So this is first conjugation. We're in the present tense. It's happening right now. Sails. It's not was sailing. Okay? And these are all going to be present tense. I'm making this as friendly as I can. I don't want to throw all of your grammar at you at once. So we are going to have naviga as our stem. Okay. What's our ending? Who's our subject? The sailor. Okay. Is he singular or plural? Singular. So we have singular, and we have what preposition? What pronoun would we replace sailor with if we were talking about a sailor? He, she, it, right? Probably a he in the ancient world. If they had jobs, they were men, because women just didn't have jobs in the ancient world. Usually you do hear about poets, and less pleasant occupations, but women typically didn't own land and didn't vote and all of that stuff. So if it was a job, it was masculine. So sailor is a first declension masculine, and our sailor is only one, and it would be a he, she, or it. So what's our verb ending for he, she, it? O means I, S means you, T means he, she, it. Okay, T. Now we got. Okay? And yes, I just borrowed from Song School Latin because that's what my daughters use. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I will give credit to Song School Latin for that. Yeah, that was their little chant. And it's for children, but I like that. So if you're ever interested in finding a kid-friendly Latin program, I would say for kids under 3rd grade, it's a good one. It's kind of fun. They have DVDs with this cartoon about a monkey, and it starts out really lame, but as you get farther into the story, it gets kind of fun. Anyway, just so you know. And no, I'm not being sponsored. I have like 8 followers, so no, I'm not being sponsored by them. Okay, there we go. The sailor sails toward the island. Okay? And this is your prepositional phrase right here. Your object of the preposition, I'm going to call the object of the preposition the OP. Object of the preposition. Okay? OP. That's what I'm going to call it. So if you see OP, you know what I'm talking about. Object of the preposition. Okay? The preposition is governing or controlling that word right there. Okay. Let's switch over and let's do the ablative. Let's do an example with that. And we'll do a bonus example. I don't know which list we're going to pick from, but does it matter? Probably not. Okay. Let's do the ablative side of things. In is really common, so let's just do it. Let's use in. Let me think. I should have written sentences down, but I was dumb and I didn't do that. Let's do you know what? This is an okay sentence. It's not the greatest, but I can spell. Okay, my handwriting really bites right now. Okay, so here we go. First of all, subject. Farmer, okay? The word for farmer is agricola, agricoli, farmer, okay? It's a masculine first declension, okay? Because farmer is an occupation, okay? So the farmer, we don't have a word for the, so it's just agricoli, or agricola, sorry, agricola. Agricola, because farmer is singular, and it's got to be in the nominative because it's our subject, okay? Now, we're saving the verb for the end. But what is our verb? Is. Okay? So, is. Sum es est, sumus est sunt. We just did those a few days ago. Okay? All right. So, the farmer is, we're saving that for the end. We need in the fields. Okay, your word for field is second declension. It's ager, agree. Okay, this is one of the ER second declensions. If you remember puer, liber, those guys, we did a video on that a while back, quite a while back, about a year ago. If you missed it, or if you're refreshing, go back and look at it if you want to. But this is the word for field. Okay? Now, we need the preposition. What's our preposition? In. So let's just put in. Okay? It's the same in Latin as it is in English. In. This means in or on in our sentence. So the object of our preposition needs to be what case? Ablative. Okay. Now, first of all, do we have one field or more than one field? Singular or plural here? It's plural. Okay. So let's do our declension. I'm not going to just say all of it. I'm going to write it down. Good little second declension review for my tens and tens of viewers. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. And we're doing ager, agree. We lose the E for this one. Another reason it's really important to learn your genitive singulars so that you know how nouns behave as they decline, okay? Just like verbs, I was telling you to, memorize your principal parts. Well, memorize your nominative and your genitive. So, ager, agree, agro, groom, I hope you know these. Agro. In the plural, we have agree, agrorum. Okay. Agrease, agros, grease. By the way, this is masculine, okay? Field is masculine, okay? So we need ablative, okay? We need it to be plural. So what do we need? What on the chart looks right? If you can even see the chart in the bottom of your screen there. Whoa! Use my foot. Oh my goodness. I really have to back this thing up, don't I? Can you see it? There we go. Okay. Next time I will figure out I'll figure out where to put all this stuff. All right. So, grease is our answer. Ablative plural. Okay. Object of our preposition, in. Okay. Meaning in or on, not into. And then we need our verb at the end, is. Farmer. I, you, he, she, it, we, y'all, they. Which one? He. Okay, that's the pronoun we would use for farmer. So we need a he, she, or it ending for our sum esse, and it's going to be est. Okay, so the farmer is in the fields, right where the farmer should be. That was dumb. All right, I'm getting dumber by the minute, folks. All right, let's do one last one. I'm going to try to write up high on the board, which means this title is going away. And I'm going to work on my setup here a little bit in the future. All right, let's write way up here. Let's do an accusative one, because why not, right? Let's do... Oh, I thought of another one that you need to know. I'm going to throw a new one at you for the ablative. Let's do an ablative one, because this one's really important, and you need to know it, okay? We're going to learn, along with the other ones, cum, which means with. And this is with as in company, okay? So I am going shopping with my husband, okay? Later on, you will learn ablative of instrument, and you will have to decide if you are dealing with company or you're dealing with instrument. If you're dealing with company, you need cum for with, okay? Write that down. Under your ablatives, the ablative side of the equation, okay? Let's do one of these, because these are good. Cum is very, 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 very popular, okay? I mean, we use with a lot, so I'm kind of ashamed that I didn't think of it until just now, but anyway, let's do a sentence with cum, meaning with. Let's do, okay, the girl walks with the teacher. All right, what is our subject? Girl. Okay, so we have a nominative singular because we only have one girl, and she is the subject, and our subjects go into nominative. Nominative, not nominative. Life is falling apart. All right, so Puella, the girl. We're going to save our verb for the end. Walks is going to go at the end of our sentence. With the teacher. Now, we know that our word for with is cum. Cum. Okay? What's our word for teacher? Well, first of all, let's decide. Do we want a male teacher or a female teacher? Let's do a female teacher, just to have fun. Why that would be more fun, I don't know. But let's do a female teacher. Okay, let's do a woman teacher. So your word for female teacher is magistra. Magistri. Okay, so we need that to be ablative. There's only one, so we need it to be ablative singular. go through your declension. Magistra, magistri, magistri, magistram, magistra. So, magistra. Okay, and now we need our verb for walking. Walking, 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 walking. Do we know our verb for to walk in Latin? I am not sure if I've ever done it, but it is ambulo. Can't write. Ambulare. So this is first conjugation. It means to walk. Okay. If you are ambulatory, it means you can walk. You'll hear that in hospitals. My husband was in the hospital. At one point, he had like this really bad infection in his leg, and they had him wear a specific bracelet that said he was ambulatory, as opposed to somebody who needs a wheelchair or a walker or whatever. So ambulances, we get the word ambulance from this. Okay. All right, so to walk. Who's doing the walking? The girl. Okay. The girl is the subject. She's the one walking. So girl would be a he, she, or it, right? So we have our stem here, ambula. And what ending do we need for third person singular? Because it's a he, she, or it. Boom. Okay. Puella cum magistra ambulat. Okay. And this is the OP, the object of the preposition. Here's your preposition, cum. Okay. Cum takes the ablative. Takes an ablative object of the preposition. Okay. All right. Okay. I will leave you alone. Like I said, in my next one, I wanted to do some third declension adjectives, and I also wanted to get into some translation work, because sentences, as you can see, are getting more involved. I'm not going to say harder, because that just sounds depressing, but they are more involved. You're getting more pieces to put together for your puzzle. We're getting away from the big chunk puzzles that you give a 2-year-old, and we're moving into the 30 and 40 piece puzzles that you would give to a 6-year-old. Okay? So that's where we're headed. All right? And once I figure out how to attach documents, I will try to attach some helpful little printouts that you can print or whatever. I don't know. Use them for kindling in your campfire. I don't know. Hopefully you find them helpful. If not, sorry. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later.